Hi, I'm Bug, and in today's video I plan to teach you on 6 different ways you could improve your art. Please enjoy, and I hope these 6 tips help you, or at least some of them help you. Let me know in the comments. The first tip is references. There are many different ways you could use references, but I'm only going to talk about 3 in this video. The first way you could use a reference is looking at images, either it be on Google or Instagram or Pinterest. You could search up what you're looking for and reference it by looking at the image, seeing things that weren't in your drawing, and then incorporating them into your drawing. Like, let's say you're struggling to draw some kind of animal. We'll say you're drawing a frog for right now. Maybe you draw a frog and then you say, this frog doesn't look right. There's something wrong with this frog. I need to fix it. You would look up images of frogs, examine the way a frog's body works, how they look, how they move, and then you try to incorporate that into another drawing and see if it improved at all. If that doesn't work for you, then the second tip is tracing over images. Maybe just looking at the images weren't enough for you and you couldn't figure out how the frog worked, how their body just fit together. You couldn't figure it out. So instead, you can trace over the images. You can trace the frog's body, get a good feel of what shapes are in there and how the frog moves and how its body stretches and things like that. You could also do this with other art styles or other people's drawings if you want to get a feel of how they draw. Like, let's say you want to learn their art style. Like, I love how this person draws. I wish I could draw like them. I'm going to trace their art and see how it feels and if I like it and if I want to draw like that and if I can draw like that. So you download an image of their art, you start tracing over it, getting a feel of the shapes they use, of how they connect their lines, and then you finish a drawing with all of that put together. I would like to say, don't post someone else's art that you traced, because that is not your art. It is just a reference, it's just learning. So please do not take this out of context and post other people's art that you traced and say that it's fine, because it's not. It is just for learning purposes. Please do not claim other people's art. The third tip is looking at videos. Let's say you still can't figure out how the frog works. You don't know the shapes, you don't know how it moves. You're trying to draw a frog leaping off of a lily pad, and you can't get it right. Search up a video, try to find a video of a frog leaping or jumping. You pause the video, take a screenshot, and then you trace over that screenshot with that movement incorporated into the frog. Now you can see the shapes of the frog's body, where the muscles move, how the legs stretch. Now you can redraw it the way it was in the video. Using references isn't anything to be ashamed of. I personally do it all the time, especially when I can't figure out how to draw a pose or how to draw a person. The second tip is to watch art tutorials. Watch as many as you can find. Watch all of them if you can. Reasons why art tutorials can help you is because you can find art tutorials on almost anything. However, it is more effective to watch art tutorial videos, like on YouTube or on Twitter or Tumblr or wherever you might be watching art tutorials at. However, you're already on YouTube, so you might as well just watch the ones on here. The fact that you're already watching this video is proof that you've already mastered this step, so good job. Very proud of you. The first reason why art tutorials can help you is because they help you with anatomy. Like, let's say you don't know how to draw a person or an animal, or maybe a building. You don't know the anatomy of a building, if that's the right way to word it. You can search up on YouTube how to draw anatomy, how to draw an animal, how to draw a person, how to draw a building, whatever you might be trying to draw. And you can find so many videos on every single one of those. The second reason why you might want to watch art tutorials is because it can help you draw backgrounds. If you're like me and you struggle with backgrounds, you cannot draw backgrounds for the life of you, I would suggest watching as many videos as you can on how to draw backgrounds. You can also use references on this part on how to draw backgrounds. You can screenshot a background that looks pretty, that you like, trace over it, learn how everything fits together and things that might be in the image. It'll help you a lot. The third reason why you might watch art tutorials is to help you with coloring and shading. It took me a really long while to learn how to color and shade my artwork in a way that was pleasing to look at. Onto our third tip, studying. You need to study a lot if you want to learn how to be an artist, if you want to improve your artwork, and if you want to put your artwork out there. The first thing you should study is art books. If you can't buy any and have the physical copy, maybe look at art books online, or look at art tutorials like our last tip said. I did have a phase where I looked at a lot of art books on how to draw, and it did help me. However, there is downsides to art books. If you learn specifically how to draw from either like 1 or 2 art books and have a really limited selection of art books, then your art style will become really limited, almost an exact copy of that art book. So please, please, please do not only use art books to learn art. They will smush you into a tiny little box on what you can and cannot draw. The second way you can study art is redrawing. Redraw your artwork all the time. If you draw something, I want you to look at it. Point out all the things you don't like about the artwork. Maybe the arms are uneven, maybe they're too tall, maybe the torso is too short or too long, or maybe the head is too big or too small. Nitpick your art. Pick out all of the things that look weird or that you don't like, and then go to another piece of paper or to another canvas and redraw it with all of those tips that you don't like. Fix everything that you didn't like. Just redo the whole thing. A third thing that you should study with art is color theory. I don't even know color theory yet, and I'm making YouTube videos. So if you want to learn color theory, you should definitely do that. You can watch a lot of videos on how to learn color theory or what color theory is, because I honestly barely know any color theory, and I need to get on that. The fourth way of how to improve your art style is to practice. A lot of people don't usually practice because they're too scared to draw things that they don't know how to draw. They'll look at something and go, wow, that's a really good drawing. I wish I could draw like that. And then they don't even try to. I actually did that exact same thing when I was a beginner artist. I didn't know how to draw skirts or dresses, or I didn't know how to draw boys, so I never did. I just never did. I never tried to. And somehow I expected to get better even though I wasn't drawing anything that I wasn't used to drawing. So please get out of your comfort zone. Draw things you don't know how. If you see something and you like the way it looks but you don't know how to draw it, go learn. Go look at tutorials. It is very easy to learn how to draw something. Of course, it takes time and it could be tedious, but once you start actually putting in the effort, I promise you, you will see results. Another way to practice is redrawing your old art. Maybe you have some old drawings that you really cringe thinking about. You just do not even want to think about those drawings. You hate them. You absolutely despise those drawings. So bring them back out and redo them. Of course you hate them because they're bad. Of course you hate them. They're old. You didn't know how to do what you do know how to do now. So go get them. Look at them. Look at all the things you did wrong. Redraw it, and see how you improved. If you're looking at this right now, and you have some old art, and you think it's worse than the art that you have already, then you're already on the path to improving your art. My fifth tip is to practice consistency. If you're going to improve at art, you need to be consistent with it. You can't just draw something and then wait 3 weeks and then draw another thing and expect it to be better, because it's not going to. You haven't been consistent, and you haven't been practicing, and you haven't been shoving yourself into your art. Of course, art doesn't need to consume your life. It doesn't need to be your everything. It doesn't need to be constant, but it does need to be consistent if you want it to get better. A really good way of being consistent is drawing daily if you have the time. Even if it's something small, like a small doodle, like practicing drawing an eye, draw a smiley face, draw a small person standing there. It could be anything. Just draw daily, even if it's a tiny little doodle. Be consistent with it. If you can't draw daily, draw at least once a week. That way, weekly, when it's time for you to draw, you can draw something, look at the thing you did last week, compare them, see if it's better. If it isn't, keep trying. It takes time. Your art isn't magically going to be better after watching 1 or 2 tutorials and drawing 1 or 2 pictures. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of practice. Do not give up. Everyone needs to hear this. If you're an artist and you're feeling really down about your work, you feel like it's never going to be good enough, it's never going to be the way you want it to be, do not give up. I was there too. A lot of people were. Every single artist was. When you first start drawing, you are going to hate your work, or you could love it. Either way, it's normal. If you give up, your art will never, ever, ever reach what you want it to be. Because you need to have faith in your art and in yourself that you can do it. Even if it takes time, even if it takes years, you will get there. And I believe in you, so you should believe in yourself. On to my 6th and final tip, experiment. Experimenting was one of the main things that got me to where I am today. If I never experimented with my art, I would still be drawing basic, boring people just standing in a stiff, boring position. The first way you could experiment is use art supplies that you never usually touch. Like, let's say you're a digital artist and you have some colored pencils lying around. Try drawing traditionally. If you're a painter, try not painting, try drawing. If you're a traditional artist, try digital. There are so many digital platforms that are free, and if you're watching this, then there are really some high chances that you're able to draw on the device that you're watching this on. Unless it's a TV or a laptop, then of course not. But a lot of you might be watching this on a phone or on a tablet or things like that, so you could just download a free drawing app and draw with your finger. That's actually where I started. I started drawing digitally on a really, really tiny phone with my finger. I was using IBIS Paint, which a lot of us know is an awful drawing app, but if it's for starting out, it's amazing. If you usually draw things that you can easily erase your mistakes, try drawing with only a pen. That way you can't get rid of your mistakes, and you have to learn how to fix them and learn how to adapt with the things that you messed up. Because if you're just going to be used to fixing your mistakes whenever you make one, you're never going to learn how to not make the mistakes. Try going out of your comfort zone as much as you can with art. Not all the time, of course, because going out of your comfort zone can be a little bit stressful, and it can be confusing and hard, and it can be discouraging for some people. But try doing things that you've never done before. Try doing things that you never thought you would do before. Try pushing your art to its limits. I never thought that I would enjoy watercolors until I tried them, and now it's my favorite way of painting. I don't use acrylics or pens. I don't use any of that. I use watercolors, and I love it. If you're an artist that already posts their art, try posting it in different ways. Experiment with the way you post, your style of posting. Maybe you have an aesthetic way of posting your art by using color-coordinated thumbnails or color-coordinated art. Try doing things different from that. Try not using the color coordination. Try posting it in different styles. Try drawing in different styles and posting that. Get feedback from your followers, if you have enough followers to get feedback from, because I know some of you might be really small artists, and if you are, comment, because I'd love to support you. That brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope some of these tips help you. Please like and comment and subscribe if you want to support a small artist. Bye!